Hi, and welcome to part 2 for model creation after the additive and subtractive PowerPoint. Today we're going to be working in subtractive, and so we'll be starting by creating this model here on the right of the screen. It's got an overall length of 60, an overall depth of 30, and an overall height of 40. So we're going to start by making that cube. After we've made that cube, then we're going to go back in and we're going to extrude cut away this piece and this piece. So in Inventor, remember to do your presets under Tools, Application Options. Under the Sketch tab, you should have grid lines selected. Under the Power tab, you should have the XYZ or XY plane selected. And then under Colors, you want to pick one of the top few that's got high contrast. And you'll hit Apply. Under Get Started, you want to make sure that we're working in the Additive and Subtractive project. If you're on any of the other ones, simply select the Additive and Subtractive project that we want to be working in and hit Apply, and it'll move that check mark to the correct project. This time we're going to be working in millimeters, so if you can go to New and then switch to Metric here on the left, and you want to pick Standard Millimeter IPT. And here is my browser, and here is my graphics window, and so to go back to the part real fast, I need an overall length of 60 and an overall height of 40. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to use the rectangle tool this time. And if you go to the drop down, you can see the 2-point rectangle. I'm going to take my cursor and I'm zooming in and out using the rolly wheel on my mouse, but I want to zoom close to the origin. I like to start there, and you'll notice that the color turns from yellow to green, and you're going to left click once and drag away, and you'll be able to input the millimeters simply by typing. So we had a 60 length, so I'm going to type 60 and then I'm going to hit tab, and that'll take me to my other dimension. So 60, what was that other dimension? I forgot already. I want to have a height of 40. So I have 60, I hit tab, and now I'm over on the height. So I type in 40 and I hit enter. I'll zoom out a little bit so I can see that rectangle. All right, and then the depth is going to be 30 back. So I'm going to hit Finish Sketch. It'll take me to the 3D modeling mode. I'm going to select Extrude, and you can switch the directionality here. I want it to go backwards away from me, but that's just preference. And then I'm going to type in 30. So it extrudes it back 30 millimeters. So now we have a 60 by 40 by 30 cube. So next we want to figure out where this point is, and the reason is if I can find this point, then I can create this rectangle, and then I'll extrude cut into the shape and cut away this missing space. So from the top left hand corner of my front view, I will measure over 10 millimeters, and then I need to know how big this space is. So if this is 10 and this is 25 and the whole length was 60, then I'm missing 25 millimeters for this space. So from the top left hand corner of the front view, I'll measure over 10 millimeters and then another 25 millimeters to create that length. So what I do is I right click on the top view and I create a new sketch, and I'm going to pick the line tool, and I'm going to zoom in a bit, and I'm going to wait for my cursor to change color so that I know that I'm locked on that corner, and then I'm going to move over to the right 10 millimeters, hit enter, and then I move again 25 millimeters, so hit enter again. I'm going to zoom out a bit. So I think I'm just going to use the rectangle tool again. 2-point rectangle. I'm going to lock to where the 10 and the 25 were, and then I should just be able to type in the numbers. So it should be 25, which is perfect. Hit tab, and that would be 30, and then I hit enter, and I have my rectangle, except for it didn't give me a rectangle, so I'm going to do it again. 2-point rectangle, 25, tab, 30. All right, there we go. I finished the sketch. So in 3D modeling mode, I'm going to select the extrude function, and I select that rectangle that I just created, but instead of coming out, I want it to go back into the shape as a cut. And how far do I want to cut it? I want to come down 15 millimeters. All right, the last part is going to be over here. So where is this in space? So on this right hand side, I'm going to start in the bottom left hand corner. It looks like this missing piece is 3 to the right of the bottom left wall, and it's 5 above the top wall. So I need to find a point that is right 3 and up 5 from that bottom left hand corner. So I'm going to find that first. So on that right side, I'm going to right click and I hit new sketch. And so I'm going to choose line tool, and then I'm going to lock to that bottom left hand corner, see it change the colors, and I'm going to go over 3 millimeters, hit enter, and then I want to go up 5. And sometimes it's a little funky about switching directions. Yeah, it did a weird thing. So I'm going to Control Z, or actually hit escape, Control Z, go back, and then select line tool again. And from that I'm going to go straight up 5 millimeters. Okay, so that point right here is where this shape starts. So from that point, I'm going to go over 15 to the right, and I want to come up 10. So right 15, up 10. And because they didn't give me any depth for this hole, we're going to assume it goes all the way through the shape. So we have a 15 by 10 rectangle that we're creating. So let's use the rectangle tool again. So rectangle tool, I'm going to use the 2-point rectangle. From that bottom point, I want it to be 15 by 10. So I hit tab to move from one to the next. So I'm going to finish that sketch, and this time I'm going to extrude. And if it didn't select it, you left clicked on that rectangle. I'm going to switch directions, and it actually automatically switches from join to cut. But instead of distance, I want to go all the way through. So I'm going to select all. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm all done. So if you rotate the shape, you can see through it, and you're finished. All right, so File, Save As. When you do this, make sure you're in your project, and make sure your project is in your E drive, your external hard drive. And you're going to name your project Part 2, and then your initials. Save it up. And then you can X out of the graphics window area and get ready for your next part. And that'll be it. So thanks so much, and have a good day.